Hello, hello. Welcome to the very first episode of Be the Media with a bunch of ladies who are going to kind of take over The View because that show sucks and we're much better. So I want to introduce my friends to everyone. We have Miss Cindy Lake. Say hello to everybody.
Hi, everybody.
We have
Hear me?
Gigi. Yeah, we hear you.
Okay.
Gigi Bowman is here with us too.
Hi.
We have...
I heard I had to curse. All right. Anyway.
We have Miss Tina Downer. Say hello. And then there's me. And we're gonna talk to you guys about all kinds of stuff like current events and just BS with you for an hour or so and see how this goes. And if it goes well, we'll do it every week. We're basing this around a concept we're working on right now that has to do with individuals literally going out and being the media in their own states and towns and covering events. Like if there's a horrible, crime or something, we're going to run out there with our cameras and record it. Because, we just can't teach the fake news anymore. So.
Like if there's a pedophile ring, we're going to go out and, check it out.
Right. But seriously, I mean, we're all over the country, right? We're in different places, and so many of us don't trust the media anymore, so why not just be the media? We're out there, we're out and about, we have a camera on our phone, and so when something or not, for instance, if the fake news reports that something's happening in Vegas, I would run to that place and confirm or maybe not confirm that something major is happening in Vegas. So that's kind of along the lines of what I was thinking this morning.
I think it's a good idea.
So feel free to ask. Yeah, I do too. And so, it's also, somebody said Uber. Was that you, Gigi?
What about Uber? I'm an Uber driver.
Yeah, I have a lot of friends who are Uber drivers, and I'm thinking, everybody's out there, out and about, running around with people in their cars, locals a lot of times, and right, what better place to start the conversation? And also, again, if you're out there and there's a major event occurring, and you're there and you don't see one, well, you're right there. I mean, we've had some instances here in Vegas where there have been reports of a police shooting, for instance, and on the mainstream, and nobody's seen that. Mainstream reported it, but nobody saw it, and you know what I mean. So we're a couple of ladies out and about in the world who can really gather a lot more interest in being the media and reporting events that are occurring or not occurring. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, it makes sense, but also we could be the media sitting here doing research, which is something that we've all been doing concerning WikiLeaks and Pizzagate. We have to be the news because the mainstream media is not doing its job, and we've learned that they tell lies. They tell everybody it's not true. So the more we dig in, the more we find out. And there's a lot of people out there doing it. I think all the citizens of America feel right now that they have to be the news and they have to be the media. So let's all do it. Oh, come on.
This is what we think about in the shower now.
Yeah, right?
You know what's You know what the funny thing is? There was an article on Drudge today, which is not there anymore. But basically, what the article was a gentleman writing about how the fake news, how the MSM smeared WikiLeaks using the fake news, and they put out a fake, like they basically put out the narrative that Julian Assange was releasing unverified information that was tampered with, and they based it off of a guy who played a hoax or a joke and wrote like a fake Wall Street speech and released it like it was actually Hillary Clinton, and they ran with it and never retracted the fact that it wasn't fake. I mean, it wasn't real.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They retracted the story about Russian, right? Yes, they said none of this stuff is necessarily true, or they put because there are people suing them now. Mm-hmm.
So what do you guys think about vowing not to share anything at all from mainstream? That vow myself.
I don't think I
What do you
do
think of
anyway.
that idea?
Wow. Yeah. Right. True. Mm-hmm. Right.
Well, I'm not going to say that you're a hypocrite. I've been known to do it too. But if we don't do it in mass, perhaps that takes away some of their,
Credibility.
you know what I mean, not feeding the beast. And then, and then encouraging all of our people, our friends and our groups and all that to be the media. Do exactly what we're doing right now in mass and make that vow not to share, not to even listen to. And I know what you're saying. I've been known to share an article too to say the same thing. Look, they said it, so it's got to be true. But then we're giving them credibility and we're giving them. What do
No,
you
I'm
think?
having audio problems. Everyone's telling me they can't.
Okay, so let's see here. I'm gonna. Are we on YouTube? I mean, I want to be able to share this too. Is that what we're having a?
We are on YouTube right
Because
now.
we're,
Yes.
Okay, everybody needs to know that this is our first. We're winging this right now, and this is our first episode, and only discussed this a couple hours ago. So good job, Tracy and Tina.
Thank you.
Getting this together. There's
Thank
a few
you.
glitches, but we'll be okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that seems to be the problem, is that I think during this whole Trump campaign, Tracy and I joined the deplorables, which grew to 500,000 people. And I got really annoyed because I didn't see our members of the Liberty Movement reaching out to them. And I said something and I tagged a few of them and I got my ass handed to me because I guess it was insulting. And they keep telling me we are reaching out, but they're not. And if you see them day after day insulting their hero, which, you know, is Donald Trump. Let's just say these 500 deplorables love Donald Trump. You're not going, 500,000, you're not going to get to them by insulting Donald Trump. There's a way to bring both sides together. And it's like they just didn't want to do it because they're so pure in their liberty, yet at the same time they're so pure in their liberty. I was, you know, watching them get William Wells, you know, as a VP candidate, and it was just so hypocritical. So I think this like was a big turn in my life when I realized, look, you know, I'm going to have to disassociate myself from the Liberty Movement because they don't want to go outside and reach outside and talk to new people. This was supposed to be about spreading the message of liberty, and somewhere along the line, it stopped, and we were talking to each other. Well, you know what? We have a new audience now, and this new audience is with us because everybody in that audience right now knows about the WikiLeaks, was reading about what was going on. We're all working together. We all have a common reason to get together, and still I do not see the Liberty Movement involved in this. And I don't understand why, because they have a big reach. They have a big reach. Where is Ben Swan? That is what I keep saying. Where is he? He was our hero. Where is he?
Right. See them. Gigi, we have to be Ben Swan now.
Obviously.
We have to take their place, and we have to stop calling ourselves the Liberty Movement. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you know what? You're right.
There's a negative connotation to that now. Mm-hmm. That's negative. Mm-hmm.
Me too. It's true.
In the chat room, guys. In the chat room, we're having people say the Truth Movement. I think that sounds great.
Okay. No more liberty. No more liberty. No more liberty movement. That's a negative connotation for all of us.
Wait a minute.
Okay.
Wasn't the
hold
Truth
on.
Movement? All right.
Hold on one sec. I apologize.
That's how I got here. Okay, being in the Truth Movement.
Yeah, truthers. That's a negative connotation too.
Yeah, well, I never liked that it was negative. I really don't care. I don't care.
Well, here's what I think though. If we enlist those 500 people to each and every one of them be the media like this, you know, use their phone, use their camera, get on Facebook Live and report on what's going on in their own little communities, if they're involved in the Republican parties, try not to be partisan, but that has some legs too. Because if we're all out there individually doing these things, we can tell the truth about what's going on and enlist them and empower them. You know what I mean?
I do. Yeah, CNN.
Right. Well,
Okay,
well,
so listen,
I'm going to vow never to share anything. One more thing. I'm going to vow never to share anything that hasn't been verified or from mainstream. So that's just at the top of my list. Happen. The head trace. Sorry.
you guys are talking, but no one's hearing you, and I've been trying to tell you that for the past 10 minutes. I've been sitting here like, guys, guys, wait.
Oh, shit. So what do we do?
I'm like, okay. Okay, so let's do a test, okay, guys? All right. So I'm looking at the chat, and thank you guys for your patience. It's greatly appreciated, for real. We will get through this, and we'll get it right. Beginner. Hold on, Tina, 1 second, please. Can you hear me talking right now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, now, Cindy, you talk.
I'm talking. Can you hear me?
Say it again.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Okay.
I'm talking.
All right, now stop. Okay, so now everyone can hear you, Cindy. Okay, so we're going to stop again now. Gigi, you talk. Gigi's gone. Great. Okay. Tina, you talk now.
Where's Gigi? I hear you.
We all hear you. Okay, so now everybody hears. Okay, so let's.
Yes, Gigi.
Yes. Okay, so this is the deal. We can't talk over one another. Otherwise, it doesn't work. So while somebody's speaking, everybody else has to kind of just chill and then start talking. And next week when we do this, we will decode and I'll do it differently and we'll do it through Skype. But Tina, one more time, say something. Keep talking.
I can.
All right. For some reason, they can't hear you, Tina. Hi, Jeremy. Oh, goodness. Okay. This is so elementary. Yeah, go ahead, and we'll talk while you do that. So I think if we all speak individually, so basically what we were saying is Charlie Brown's teacher.
Should we raise our hands when we want to speak?
Okay. All right, so I was listening to you guys and laughing because you were talking to nobody, and so let's go back over what you guys were just saying. So go ahead, Cindy, say it again.
I just think empowering everybody to do what you do, to do what we're doing. Instead of trying to take control and lead them, maybe empower them to do what we're doing. And again, just have maybe a few different we all agree not to do, such as sharing information that hasn't been vetted and sharing anything mainstream. That's just two of my top of my list of things I'm not going to do anymore. And I think that'll give us more credibility. And again, I'm going to empower all my people in my groups and on my list and all that to do exactly what we're doing right now. And to do those things too. Not share anything mainstream and vet every single piece of information before sharing it.
Well, what are we vetting it with then?
Well, you know, not just press share. You know, I mean, I'm getting it with you, to be honest with you. I think it's with you.
Well, thank you.
With Tracy first and Gigi. Seriously, I'm trying really hard not to share anything that I'm not sure about, but also listening to those I trust, of course. You know, the few I trust. So, my idea right there.
Well, I'm different. I post things. I don't always verify them. Sometimes people tell me they're not true, and then sometimes I take them down. But sometimes I post things that I know are true and somebody tells me they're not. And that's when I say, fuck you, when I block them, which is something I've been doing a lot of lately. You know, it gets to the point where there's a lot of trolls on there, and they're trying to stir up shit, and they're trying to make us look like idiots too. You know, you know, let's face it, we're on Facebook, all right? And so are the feds, so are trolls, so are people that want to make us look like idiots. So it's not easy. It's not easy. They'll say everything that we post is fake news. Who are these people? Yes.
Well, again, if we're, you know, if you want to put, okay, Comet Ping Pong. Who's in New York? Tina. Can you run by, Washington, D.C. When we have our network of media people like ourselves, somebody in Washington, D.C., we get on the phone, text somebody and say, can you run over there? On. Something like that. Run over to, or nearby, or run over to Roberta's Pizza in New York. You see where I'm going with this? I mean, if we have a whole entire huge network of people like us, then we can verify certain things, whereby we really have to rely on the articles and the videos and stuff like that. But if we have people in every location that we can really trust with their camera phones, a lot of the stuff that we can't really do right now. So that's kind of my idea too, is that we have people all over the place and verifying.
Well, look what happens though. Look what happens to the people that go to these places.
Yeah.
Like the guys that went and like picketed or protested outside of Comet Pizza down in Washington. Alefantis actually came out and talked to them and like invited them in for a tour. Would you feel comfortable going in after James Alefantis, the suspected pedophile, and getting a tour of, you know, Comet Pizza and ping pong? Like, you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know who these people are. It's frightening. It's frightening what's going on right now. It really is.
Can I just say that we already have something like this? It was called We Are Change, and it's worldwide. And these people have been doing this for a long time, and they're damn good at it.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically, you want to start another We Are Change, but it's already there.
But now
maybe we need to just join We Are Change and start doing what they're doing, because it's already set up for us. There's We Are Change Facebook pages in every country. It's being done. The problem is that we're being told that our friends who are doing this are doing something that's not real. So it's already being done, Cindy. It's just that someone out there is trying to make people believe that it's all fake. And they're getting it done because of false flags. Like all of a sudden somebody goes there with a gun in Washington, D.C. I think that's complete bullshit. Everybody knows you don't go to Washington, D.C. with a gun, especially a guy who has a gun who lives in North Carolina. They know better. That's why it's bullshit. False
Gigi,
flag bullshit.
we had a friend that went to D.C. with a gun.
He went to D.C. with a gun because he had an ego and he wanted to make a point. But this guy supposedly went in there with a gun because he wanted to find the children that were in the basement. I'm sorry, that whole thing was one big setup. We know it was because the cam was down that morning, okay? That's something that we investigated.
Well, if we have people there.
If we have people there, what, we have people hanging around, you know?
No, you know, I did a video, not a video, but I had a tweet out. Somebody gave me a video from my channel, actually, that it was the people that came out after this incident, and they said, oh, the waitress came up to us and gave us, you know, told us we better leave because there's a gunman, and we grabbed our pizza and our beer and we left. I mean, who the F grabs their pizza and beer when you hear there's like a gunman inside the pizza restaurant?
No, the best was the bartender that worked there did not see a gun. But he shot it, but he didn't see a gun. Come on, this.
I know, I do. First of all, it was an AR-15. It wasn't just a gun. So
he shot it.
Of course it was.
One bullet out of an AR-15.
I have one too. Should I go get it? Should I go get it and show you?
Go get it.
I don't want to show that on this channel.
Why?
I'm just telling you. I know. Anyway, listen, we have 500,000 people in the deplorable group. I'm sure there are a few in and around DC. I'm not saying to go there and put themselves in harm's way, but down, and we have 500,000 people, we should be able to, you know, contact those people or put out a message who's in DC and, you know, report on what's going on. To that effect. I'm not saying, you know, with every false flag, but we can.
Wouldn't it be great though if we were like, you know what the funny thing is, to be honest with you guys, I was driving at that point through DC and I was talking with Gigi and Tina and another one of our friends, and I said, I just stopped a comment. I'm like right here, and it was right before that was gonna happen. If I went, I would have been there, and that would have been perfect.
See? And who knows if you'd still be here, but still, I'm just saying.
But there are people there. We just watched a video of two boys.
Nobody pulled out their cell phone and took video while they were inside that restaurant? Nobody?
Yeah, sure.
It's bullshit and lies. It's lies.
Right, because it's bullshit. So we have to verify it's bullshit. We have the people on the ground verifying the bullshit. That's what I'm, you know, that's what this is about. Be the media. Have your phone ready to record, and ready to run, ready to rock and roll. Be a reporter. We can't rely on Ben Swan, obviously, anymore.
Well, Cindy,
we are change being everywhere.
Cindy, go into that deplorables page and set something up, baby. You got 500,000 people to listen to you. Try and get them, you know, to do this. I went in there today and I asked them all, you know, we got Donald Trump in. How many of you are going to start running for office? Liberty is local. And all of a sudden, I got a couple of likes because this is something they never thought of. This is something we thought of in the Ron Paul revolution. I ran Liberty candidates. They haven't thought of that yet. This is all new to them.
Well, like I was saying,
Liberty candidates. Go ahead.
This morning I was talking with Gigi and I was saying to her basically like we kind of like woke up slowly. Like we woke up slowly. We had not slowly. I mean, it was like 9/11 and the Fed, and you know, we gradually learned all this stuff. These people, the lovely people that they are, and I love all of them, are waking up with a satanic global pedophile ring and a media that lies to them about everything.
Yeah.
Like, think about how you felt when you realized for the first time that there was a group trying to control the world. And now multiply that times like 80 million. And that's how these people feel. Like, it's crazy, but I feel horrible. It's like, how much can you learn in one short span of time? It's like, why don't you just pour some cold water over somebody's head? It's just got to be shock, complete shock.
Well, I think if we could break that group down into, Northeast, South, and West, or state by state, and just, empower the leaders in that group to be a leader, be the media. Other states,
It's not easy.
No, it isn't. It's not easy, but I'm sure that out of 500,000 people, maybe we can find 50.
Remember,
how many states are there?
Remember when we started, we weren't on Facebook. We were on MySpace. I was on MySpace when we started this. But I went from MySpace, not to Facebook, to Meetup. Meetup was where we all had our local
I run a Meetup
Ron
or two or
groups.
three.
Right, and we had our local Ron Paul groups. Within those groups, we were getting stuff done. Then we got together with other groups. This is something that hasn't been formulated yet to this new crop of people that just awakens. I mean, maybe we need to start.
I agree with you. I have a huge Meetup group.
Yeah.
Yes, I have my 400 member Meetup still. That was Ron Paul 2012. I agree with you. Have you guys used Nextdoor?
There's like 5,000 groups on Facebook. It's very confusing. It's not as easy to gather the troops in a place where everything is so huge. So, I think we need to go in there. Somebody needs to be a leader and go in there and start making it localized. And I don't know how to do that. Maybe, Cindy, maybe that's something that you can do, something you're good at, I mean, I try to go in there. Yeah, I don't have my Meetup group anymore. I stepped away from it, but.
Well, that Meetup group doesn't have anybody in it that we would want, to be. We have to start over with the people.
Start over.
And, and they don't think we're crazy anymore.
But is Meetup the place?
Empower all these people? Yes, it is. And there's another one. Nextdoor. Check out nextdoor.com. I'm using that too.
Nextdoor is interesting. It really is, because we have that in our area. And
get on there.
Unfortunately, they have so many rules. You cannot talk about politics. You cannot talk about. They kick you off in 2 seconds where I live. I mean, people.
It's okay. I found a way, Gigi. I introduced myself. I said I'm going to be setting up a neighborhood meeting, gathering for the neighbors to actually meet each other physically.
Right.
And I've been just, adding some just good information on there, just gaining credibility. But what if we empower all these people, all these deplorables, to go into Nextdoor and Meetup?
Excellent idea.
And start their own little neighborhood organizing.
I think that's great.
And then getting to know each other.
Are we past the point now where people are afraid to admit their ideology in public?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Ooh. Are we past that point?
I am.
We are, but we're talking about a time period where everybody is at odds, because the left is, thinking that the right is hurting them by speaking, and the right is, getting insulted by the left. I don't know. It's kind of we're in a weird place right now. We have a lot of division. The only thing that's bringing us together is Pizzagate. Because it's a common enemy.
Where's Tina go?
She's been gone. When you have a common enemy like Pizzagate, which is nothing about right or left, but about people being hurt, this is when people come together. So
it's a crazy world we live in right now, and you're noticing, this is the good thing, in my opinion, because you're noticing, like, we are working with Bernie Sanders supporters, we're working with former Hillary Clinton supporters that are just like, what the frig was I doing? We're working with, Trump supporters. We're not really working with very many Ron Paul supporters, but these people are learning the truth that Republicans are bad and Democrats are bad, and there is an evil plot to take over the world, and like this stuff is actually happening, and we're crossing the party lines and the division that's been created over one issue that everybody can agree is absolutely disgusting, and it is so ingrained in everything else, which is why they're so scared. It's exposing everything.
But there's still a lot of people out there that's saying that this is not true. Have you gone and
That's
asked?
what the media is saying.
No, it's not the media.
Yeah.
Just go ask somebody. Do you know about Pizzagate? Ask anybody, any person that you know in your regular area, and see what they say. Most people are like, "What are you talking about?" We think everybody knows about it, but it's not true. Everybody doesn't know about it.
Well, and I don't know as much as Tracy knows about it, and so I.
Well, Gigi too, and Tina, and Tina. Like, we've been in this group.
We've been working
research.
We've been doing this for, like, I don't know, since it happened,
for 24 hours a day.
Well, I heard. I think it's. I don't remember his name. Max Egan, would it be? Tracy, Gigi, do you know who I'm talking about? He's maybe Australian. He's got an Australian accent. I listened to a podcast, and I've heard him before. I have to think of his name, but anyway, the whole. I think the whole reason is because the focus went from the WikiLeaks emails, Comet Ping Pong, which is a very minor part of the bigger picture, right? Mm-hmm. So the people who have focused on Comet Ping Pong and the pizza place and are harassing, what's his name?
Max Egan, just so you know.
Max Egan, have you listened to him? Can I give him some credibility?
Yeah, of course.
Well, I don't, I'm not sure, but I'm almost sure. But anyway, so what he said was what we have to do is stop talking about the pizza place. Started, which was the WikiLeaks emails. That's where it came from. Where's Podesta? Where's Hillary? Where's and Wiener? Where are all these people?
Very quiet.
I mean, that's really what take the focus off the pizza place and tell whoever's down there harassing and everything. That's just a minor part of the bigger picture. At least that's what I understand. Am I right?
Yes.
Yeah, but the bigger picture is
Pizzagate might be. Right, but it started. All this came out because of the emails, the WikiLeaks, and that's where you got your credibility in my eyes, Tracy. You pulled it all apart for everybody, and so what I'm saying is that from his perspective, we have to, maybe Pizzagate is now, there's a negative connotation to that because of the pizza place. Maybe we should not call it Pizzagate,
Yeah, I think what I try to do when people start to say, like, because, just listen to this for a second, okay? Ready? I'm going to say something. Guys, there is a satanic pedophile ring running out of the basement of a pizza place in Washington, D.C. that is owned by someone in media that works with Hillary Clinton and is dating David Brock. If you're a normal person walking around, how does that freaking sound to you?
Well, what if you say, have you heard about Anthony Weiner?
Yeah, or you can say,
what do you know about him? What do you know about this whole thing?
Or look at this email, look at this Instagram page. Just tell me that this Instagram page is normal. And nobody in their right mind can say that it's normal. Nobody can. And if they can, walk away because they're just too far gone.
Or they'll say
look at it.
Somebody like us faked it.
I'm sorry?
They'll say somebody faked it.
No. It's
fake news people.
It's an archived page from Instagram. It's not fake. It's just, if they say that it's fake, then again, cognitive dissonance is too big. Walk away. There are some people that cannot be saved.
Right, I agree with you. But I'm just questioning whether we should, you know, take the focus off Comet Ping Pong and maybe put it back on what they know, like Anthony Weiner and the emails, the WikiLeaks, Julian Assange, where is he? What, you know what I mean?
But we are doing that. We are doing that. And
yeah,
you know, I think what Tracy did last week, she took all the pictures that were on Instagram and all the pictures that were, you know, part of this whole thing, and she put them all in one place, and people looked at it, and it's kind of hard to ignore that. When you see the artwork hanging in the house of Tony Podesta, you know, it's kind of hard to say, oh, this is fake. Who the hell has pictures of children tied up hanging on their walls? So we can't take the focus off Ping Pong Pizza, because that is where these people gather. This is their friends. These are the people who have the artwork. These are the people posting the Instagrams. This is how we found out about this. This is where the logos were pedophile, you know, FBI codes. No,
it's
we can't.
wide open right in front of our face.
Right.
And like, you know, I got into this big argument with Todd Kincannon, which I've talked about already. And he was like, oh, give me real evidence. I'm not a freaking detective. I don't have access to those places. I can't walk in and be like, we're here to sweep the premises. Give me a break.
The guy's a dick. I saw him. I saw him speak on Gab. He's a dick. All right?
Yes, he is. You're right.
All right, well,
okay,
I thought,
keep talking.
Okay, Gigi, I think I saw a couple of weeks ago, my daughter's criminal justice major, and one of the movies she had to see for her class was, it was called The Abolitionist.
Yeah, I saw that.
Have you heard about that?
I saw it going around, yeah. I didn't watch it.
So, well, I went to see it at a location. I don't know if we could get it online or not, but the point is that what popped up in my head, and that's before all this started really coming out, is this former DHS employee is overseas all over the place, but clearly says that the main hub for human trafficking is the United States, but he couldn't get anything done here. So, in and of itself establishes the complete basis for what we're trying to get out to people. It exists.
Right.
Okay? You know how we know it exists? There's a former DHS employee running an operation trying to save children in Haiti because he can't get anything done here. Why can't he get anything done here? When we have the crux of human trafficking, we have the top numbers of human trafficking cases in the world. Why can't this employee put a stop to it here? Maybe that's where we go with it. Maybe that's where we start.
Because
somebody who's got to work over there and save one at a time.
Because it turns out they're all probably involved. We come from Long Island, Tracy and I. We just moved, last year, okay? Our Suffolk County head of police was arrested a year ago. Why was he arrested? Because we're not really sure what he's connected to, but somebody tried to break into his truck and took a duffel bag, and it's all connected to child pornography. And this is what you're going to see every time you go into that rabbit hole and you start looking at all of these legislators who won't open their mouths. Somehow there's always child pornography behind all of it. Now, I don't know if it's because they use child pornography to get rid of the legislators or the people in government that they don't want.
No, they use it to bribe them so that they'll vote for the horrible legislation that we're all forced to live under.
I mean, I've heard that every single person who is allowed to be elected has at some point an initiation, and somewhere along the line there's a picture of them doing something they shouldn't be doing. Why is it that child pornography on a computer is always the thing that's used to finally get rid of somebody? Spitzer,
They can put it there?
you know,
Spitzer, yeah.
because they can do it because these people have been involved in this. I mean, I think it goes that far. The fact that everybody's shut up about it and everybody's mum about it suddenly leads me to think that there's way more
think it's
people
got to
involved.
go back.
I mean, this is just, you know.
Well, I think it even goes back to JFK.
I think it goes back to Roman
Sorry.
times. I mean, this is something that's always been going on, but it's underlying in our government. And we just found out that the woman that might have been elected for president had a right-hand man who has artwork in his house of vile, horrible paintings of children. That's just one thing. We read all kinds of emails with codes. We had people checking out what these codes meant. We connected the dots. They all made sense. Anybody who goes out to connect the dots doesn't go, oh no, this is bullshit. Only the people saying it's bullshit are the people who are telling us to shut up. So this is just the beginning of a rabbit hole. And I'm glad that so many people are on it right now. We just watched a video, was it yesterday or today, Tracy, where two boys, I've never seen these guys before. They had balls the size of Mount Vesuvius because they went to Comet Pizza. They snuck into the basement of the hospital down the block. They found out that there is a basement there when we've been told there isn't a basement at Comet Pizza. We've been told so many lies, but everybody who's doing their own media thing that we don't even know is finding out little truths and that everything we're saying is true. So even without us organizing it, it is happening. It really is. There's so many. I mean, if you just put on YouTube Pizzagate, you're going to see 1,000 videos. Everybody is obsessed at this point. But yeah, maybe that's where Podesta is. He's fucking hiding. He's
think about how he hasn't had a tweet since Election Day, and think about how we can tie this into every other like false flag, 9/11. We can tie this into every issue that we've been fighting against for so long. It just has to be done a certain way. This is where we're at right now. This is what we're focusing on. This is what we're paying attention to, and people are learning more about the way the power structure works in this world now than we could have been able to tell them if we said, hey, sit down, I have to tell you a story. By the way, there's this group called the Bilderberg Group that meets every year in secret, and it's all these powerful people from around. They go, okay, take off your tinfoil hat. Or 9/11 was an inside job. Okay, they'll walk away. I guarantee you talk to someone about 9/11 today who's investigating this.
That's right. Things have changed. That's right. Now you can wear that truther badge and not be looked upon as some tinfoil hat wearing alien. Because everybody right now is a truther. Everybody who wanted Donald Trump is, because we saw what they tried to do to him. We saw what they're still doing to him. I mean, I think that having Trump run for office and get elected and being ignored by the media and being insulted daily by, you know, broadcasters, and that helped. That helped in the fact that it woke people up to, wow, we knew that because of Ron Paul, but those people weren't paying attention when we were going through that with Ron Paul. Now they've been through it. And there's a hell of a lot more of them than there was of us. So if we got together, if we all got together, we're way more people than the left. But somehow we just can't seem to get together because a lot of the Ron Paul people just, they don't want to be involved in this for some reason. I don't understand why. Is it that they've given up? They're all anarchists. They're all, you know, ignoring government. I don't know. I don't know anymore.
I want to switch topics.
There's so many different reasons.
Oh, I wanted to switch topics. I'm sorry, Cindy. I wanted to switch topics because I wanted to talk about something that we were talking about earlier that's actually a little bit more humorous and lighthearted before. I guess we'll go for like another 10, 15 minutes, guys. What do you say?
Okay.
All right. So we were talking, Gigi and I, and Gigi was saying today how Geraldo got he was on what, Fox or something?
Yeah, he's on Fox today.
So Geraldo was on Fox today, like praising Donald Trump and sticking up for Donald Trump. And I was saying to myself, well, that's really interesting because just, 4 or 5 weeks ago, not even, he was just really nasty towards Trump. His tweets, and it's literally like, he says, Hillary's still going to win, but Donald Trump, wow, you're really putting up a great fight. And then you just see him like on his Twitter feed throughout the night go like,
Now they all want jobs, Tracy. Now they're all like,
so
oh,
if you,
shit.
yes, so if you look back, like, let's talk about people who are just ridiculously ridiculously Paul Ryan. Now, for you guys that don't know, Cindy actually became chairperson of the Republican Party, right, in Clark County, Nevada, right?
Mhm.
So, yeah, I mean, that's a crazy accomplishment. And what do you think about what happened in Nevada with the vote? What do you think about what happened? Do you think that it was legit, or do you think it was screwy?
Oh, it's totally screwy. We have a lot of stuff going on here with proof positive of voter fraud. I mean, we have it under, federal investigation, a lot that means, but still. I mean, there's one guy who was running for assembly district here who sent out like 9,000 mailers, Edward Snowden being registered, and all these names of celebrities being registered, vacant lots, with their addresses at vacant lots. 100% of these people who lived at a vacant lot had voted. So there's some big stuff coming down right now as far as voter fraud goes. And one of the assemblymen, who's a lame duck assemblyman right now, his wife went to vote, and it turns out she had already voted. So she's got an investigation going on. So yeah, no, the vote was completely fraudulent, in my opinion. I never saw signs. What that means is to a lot of people, but I get around. I get around. I'm all over the place. I never saw a Hillary sign ever, ever, ever. The entire election. There is no way she won. There isn't. There's no way she won. Nevada is I'm going to say we're the worst of the worst of the worst and everything, and we're probably at the top of the list of fraud, voter fraud. And that's how I lost my election, to be honest with you. That's not sour grapes. I'm talking about my commission race. I was supposedly ahead by 10,000 votes. It was a red year, the red wave. Every other Republican around me won, but the commission spot here in Clark County is a very powerful, and they did not want me. As a matter of fact, high-level Republicans wound up endorsing the Democrat in my race. Sure, I didn't win. So anyway, that's what I think. I think it was complete fraud. We have a really, really, really corrupt power structure here, starting from the top all the way down the line. So, and that's why I think the more of us who are out there involved with our camera phones, boots on the ground, man on the street, empower these 500,000 people in the deplorables group to do what we do. Although I'm not anymore, but still, I'll go to the meeting. I go to the meeting. I can report on what's going on at the meeting.
Do they let you guys record? Because, like, I know someone in the chat right now who happens to be named, I won't give her name, but she knows who she is. I would love if she recorded some of the stuff that she does at her meetings, because it would be drama and it would be really entertaining for everyone to listen to. Like, I'm worried right now, not to switch topics again, but I'm worried right now. Let me tell you why. I was never really worried about the voter fraud issue because I knew that Trump won in such a landslide that they wouldn't be able to really steal those 3 states from him. However, interestingly, like I posted today on my Facebook wall, there was an article that came from about Georgia, where the Department of Homeland Security actually tried to hack into Georgia's voting system after they were denied access to it. And that makes you wonder, like, the federal government was trying to hack our own elections, or it's just weird. And you think about, like, I worry about the Electoral College right now because they tried to do it with the delegates. We witnessed them do it with the delegates with Ron Paul. They tried to do it with the delegates with Trump. And now we've got 15 electors who have vowed not to vote for him in the Electoral College. What happens when it gets to the House of Representatives if we get into that crisis? What happens? Does the House of Representatives vote for Trump? Or is this outpouring of Clinton appearances recently indicative of her trying to get back in the public eye for some reason? That's my fear.
Well, some people are telling us not to worry.
That's when you worry.
Yeah.
Well, we know what the delegates did. I mean, we were able to make some headway, if you will, as delegates, as national delegates, and there are fewer electors to have to get to, and they will get to them. I'm really worried about it. I've been worried about it. I've been worried about it since election night. I think it's a real threat.
I worry because, like, I almost feel like, can't we ever just freaking win and not have to deal with this nonsense?
No.
Like, for God's sakes, we finally won and we're still dealing with this shit.
No, it's true.
Like, but I feel like, you know, it's really not, it's out of our hands. There's nothing that we can do. I don't think that they're being affected by the Democrats threatening them with violence and, you know, threatening to kill them. And I don't think that's doing it. I think there are legitimately maybe some blackmailed, maybe some bribed Congress or delegates, electors out there who, what's the penalty for them?
There isn't one. And I have a quick story too. We had an elector, a Ron Paul elector, one of our people who was in 2012, who was threatening not to, if Romney was the nominee, and he was threatened up and down, left and right, and you know by who?
Who? Harry Reid.
No, Ron Paul people. By Dimitri Kassari. That's right, by Dimitri Kassari, #1 on the list. I was there. So I witnessed that. We had one elector, and he said he vowed he was not going to vote for Romney, and he put it out there in mainstream, and and Dimitri came to one of the meetings while I was chairman and asked me to have this gentleman, who shall remain nameless, come up to the microphone, come up to the stage so he could talk to him, and I said, no, I will not. But yeah, they were trying to get to him big time, Ron Paul's people, to make sure he didn't do that. So that's only one instance, but I think it's way bigger. I think it's a huge threat, and I don't think it's over yet. Days now, 9 from tomorrow.
Yeah.
One more week, so we'll see.
After that, at least we can be like somewhat secure in his inauguration will happen, but what after that? There's always going to be something with this. It's like we can never relax. I like beg for the day when we fix all this, because I will not stop until it's fixed. And we can just say this. Because it's so much. It really is.
It's a burden, but that's why I want to share that burden with those 500,000 people. You know, they need to share that burden with us.
Well, it's just that you can go in there and you could be ignored also. I mean, you could post things. There's just so many people that not everybody's paying attention. So it's not an easy group of people to you know, put into groups or to even get them to, you know, listen to what you have to say. So they might be there.
Yeah, I want to see this. This is what I want to see, and I'm serious about it. Like, I want to see everyone in one place, whether it's a march or an event or somewhere where there's speakers and we can like get people there, and you know, like some kind of an event or something.
Like in Tampa,
like protest, you know?
And like everybody goes, and we have speakers from all different sorts of like different areas. Like we have an expert on 9/11, and we have like an expert on, you know, I don't know.
Like Fave Long Island Forum, you know?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Hey, I live like, you know, down the road a piece from Tom Woods and Robert Scott Bell. You know, Orlando has a lot of New Liberty people, but I'm too tired for this. I'm done. I'm fried. You know, I'm not going to do that, like, you know, bring all the egos together thing anymore. It doesn't seem to make sense. I would rather, at this point, look, my husband told me when we moved here, I had to stay away from politics for a year. I ran for office. Our life was, you know, runarounds, collecting signatures, running for office, all this. So we moved here. I took a year off. And the only thing that brought me back really was Donald Trump running for office, because I saw some, you know, bright spot somewhere. And
you had me like,
well, I went to a Republican meeting over here because I wanted to volunteer to go door to door. And I was pleasantly surprised by the Republican Party in Florida, because the people there are more awake than I've seen in the Republican Party in New York, which were very, let's just say neocon. The people in New York were like, if they were a Republican Party, they were real neocons. They were just, you know, war was their thing. They were beating the drums. Over here, I walk in and some Spanish lady starts going to me, let me sit down, let me tell you about the Illuminati. And I was like, whoa. So I didn't even open my mouth. I just sit down and listen to her. And I was just like, wow, this is new. And then I got in a car with some guy and went door to door with him. And, you know, he was telling me all about all kinds of, you know, ways of liberty and freedom. I was like, wow, things are different here. And these people, they were never Ron Paul supporters. So it did give me some hope that if I start attending these meetings and start talking about my brand of liberty, that perhaps I can, you know, change things locally. Now, the person who I admire and respect of most of my Ron Paul friends is Leslie Jones in Virginia. And the reason why is because she listened to Ron Paul and she stayed in the Republican Party, like you, Cindy. She infiltrated, and she went the way of the Tea Party. Let's just say, not going to say infiltrated, but she went the way of the Tea Party. And a lot of us didn't do that because we felt they had been infiltrated. So we went to the Libertarian Party. Well, it turns out, I think that the people that went with the Tea Party, they changed their local Republican parties and made them more liberty-minded. I think that they did a better job than we did. The ones who went to the Libertarian,
yeah, because they're all dicks.
Right? No, it's true. It's true. And then they sold out, you know, this last election, and that really put a damper on the whole thing. And it's a shame because they do have ballot access in 50 states, and you would think that, you know, their goal would be to spread the message of liberty, not to try to sell out to win.
There were delegates at the Libertarian Convention being threatened in the bathroom, right?
You know what? I don't know anything about that. I just feel that being there, that I watched people sell out. And I saw Dave Now. Do you know who Dave Now is? The head of the Republican Liberty Caucus. He has hated libertarians for years. I even have a T-shirt for sale on Zazzle from like 2008 that says, you know, there goes Dave Now insulting another libertarian. And there he is sitting next to William Wells in the Wyoming delegation. First of all, neither one of them is from Wyoming, so they just got in. And this just blew me away because I knew at that point that the Libertarian Party had sold out and been infiltrated. And I don't see it making a comeback for a long time until something changes. And I don't know, maybe Adam Kokesh running in the Libertarian Party will change it. I don't know, but I won't be going back there. I'm going to go to my local Republican Party because I think that these people who love Donald Trump and worked hard to get him elected and were standing out there waving signs like 3 times a week and you know, having rallies, these people, they want a better life for their children, and they seem to want to do something about changing the Republican Party from what it was to something new.
And they still have a chance to win, Gigi.
Right.
LP, there is no chance to win.
Right.
And people.
Can I give you a quick, from my perspective as former chairwoman, okay? I agree with you, Gigi. I went to the Libertarian Party for 30 days. and went back to the Republican Party. However, the Republicans won big time in Nevada in 2014 in a red wave. Okay, we have a majority in the Assembly and a majority in the state Senate. We have a governor, and we have witnessed and been the victims of the largest tax increase in the history of Nevada. We've had more laws, more freedom-stealing laws passed with the Republican majority. So what you're saying about that, I can't buy into that anymore, however.
Okay.
And it's okay if you do. It's okay. I understand where you're coming from, and I agree. I respect Leslie, too, and Amy Hedke in Texas. You know, Amy and Jeremy Glosser and those people, they're still active in the Republican Party. Diana Orrock here. That, along with, you know, these other facets of what we're talking about, that's one aspect of what we can do. Next door, meetup, Republican meetings, county commission meetings, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I'm having a mayor meetup here to meet a potential new mayor. Okay, so invite neighbors to meet. You know.
So, but you're still working in the Republican Party. You're still
no.
You're not. What are you doing? You just
no. I work with Republicans, but I'm nonpartisan. I'm registered nonpartisan.
All right. I am also. I'm not affiliated with any party anymore. But do you see the potential of the new Republicans that got involved because of Donald Trump, and a lot of new people who never voted before, who never were part of a party before, came out for Donald Trump? That's the thing. There's a whole new, those 500,000 people that are in that deplorables group, most of them were never involved before with the Republican Party. So can't we infiltrate now with these new people? Since no,
to what end?
To what end? To get new people involved to run for office, to get new people to step up and start talking about bringing more liberty into our lives after we've seen what happened with the Democrats and all this cheating and all this lying and all this pedophilia and all what they did to Trump and the fake media. I mean, I think this new crop of people isn't your old Republicans. And
but they cheated us. They cheated us. They still cheat us. They cheated me. They cheat us. They will cheat us. They see us coming from a mile away. It's just not my event anymore.
They might see us coming from a mile away, but when you've got a herd of buffalo running at a few Indians, it's a little bit harder to stop.
Well, let me tell you how many people showed up to the last meeting. Let me tell you how many people showed up to the last Republican meeting after the election, which was just a couple weeks ago, where I used to have 600 in my county meeting. 43 people showed up to this last meeting. So they're going back to sleep is the problem. The Republican base is now comfortable because Trump won, and they're going back to sleep.
But isn't that the old Republicans that you were dealing with? Did anybody tell these new people, hey, come to a meeting?
Yeah, they did. They woke up. They did. They became delegates. A lot of Trump people became delegates. Yeah. I mean, there were a lot of Ron Paul people who became Trump people at the national convention, at least from here. So, but what I'm saying is just not my thing anymore. I've been years, and I'm talking that way. But you might be good at doing that, and there's plenty of people, plenty of our people who are still doing that. I'm doing it a different way. My whole goal is to tear down the party structure because it doesn't work. Because it's just never going to work. It's just in my opinion.
All right, but now you're sounding like the anarchist. That's what you're sounding
like. I'm not an anarchist.
I know you're not an anarchist, but we've still got these two damn parties, and we've got them to work with. We really can't go outside of them. Nothing works every time you go outside of them. So you've got these two parties, and the only way to change it is to get people in it who weren't in it before. Now, if you are saying, I'm not going to deal with parties anymore, then we're not going to run for office, and we're not going to get Thomas Massey's in there. We're not going to get decent people in if we stop pushing the parties aside because they're not going to go away. And the Libertarian Party, obviously, they're useless.
That's not enough.
I find them to be useless
Yeah.
tools at this point. So by stepping away from parties, you're saying that they don't work, but we have no other way to get people in office. And I still feel that small government is only going to become small government if we get Thomas Massey's in office. How do we do that? By giving up.
I know. It's a tough one for me too.
It's still about liberty. It's still about liberty.
It's a harsh reality. I know.
I can't say ignore the government and it will go away. And me and Tracy were talking about this earlier. That woman in Alabama who decided not to get a birth certificate for her child and had her baby taken off her breast and taken away from her. Did you read that today, Cindy?
Mm-hmm. No.
All right.
Terrible.
These people, like they literally, CPS or the hospital took the baby away. The parents have no right to the baby anymore because they refused to get a social security number and a birth certificate.
Now these people came from New Hampshire. So I got to figure that they're, in the mindset of the Free State Project. We don't want government. We're going to ignore government. We're going to make sure that, we don't follow their laws or their rules. But guess what? Those laws and rules are not going away, and they're going to take your baby. And the only way to change that from happening is to change the laws, nullify them, get rid of them. And you can't do that by walking away. You just can't. And I don't feel like now is the time to walk away. I feel like now is the time to get those 500,000 people and say, let's get together and let's take over the Republican Party. They don't like the old Republicans. I know you
again,
but yeah. last time you did it, you didn't have enough people. You did not have enough people. Now we have a lot more people, okay? And we have a different kind of guy, and he actually got elected. Ron Paul did not get elected. All right.
I'm hearing you.
I'm just telling you, you were the one that was the one we all said, Cindy is the girl. She's showcased. She went through the Republican Party. And now you're telling me you're giving up, but you can't give up because if you give up,
I'm not giving up.
What's left?
I'm not giving up. I feel like I don't know if the party is the answer. I think this little, neighborhood structure building on being the media type thing is the answer too. And then maybe the party thing will come. I agree with you. The libertarian is not an option. Being a non-voter is not an option. I'm fighting with my not voting and saying, what the hell good is that going to do? Don't get me wrong. I know where you're coming from. It's just they see us coming, and even the people who we start out being so strong, they get co-opted. Even the strongest of strong people.
Yeah, but they can't be co-opted so easily anymore because they know that everything is a lie.
We won. People came out and voted in droves. They told us we weren't going to win, and we won because people said, screw you, I'm not telling you who I'm voting for. And they went out and they voted, and it proved that voting counted. And I don't give a shit if they tell you that voting was hacked. It was hacked by the left, not by the right. Okay, I'm sorry. We came out, we voted, we won. We can do it.
Long Island went
red. Where I live here in Port St. Lucie went red for the first time since the 90s, okay? So, yeah, it can happen. It works if people get together. Again, I'm going to say, we did not have enough people in the Ron Paul revolution. There was not enough people.
There was not enough normal people, like not enough of like, your friends and your mom and dad and your, not like.
How many votes did he get? How many? Do you know the answer to that, Cindy?
Way over 63 million.
Oh, yeah. He got a lot of votes. And we had a lot more delegates at that national convention than supported. So, I mean, we really did have a chance to nominate him from the floor, and that's why the rules were passed illegitimately, and that's how Trump became the nominee.
Exactly.
Because of the rules that they used against the RNC, that were used against us.
Wasn't that
about that? Think about that. That
I
was
love
the
this.
greatest
Yeah, I know.
fucking thing.
I
mean,
love it.
It basically said that we did that. We made them
We did
change
that.
the rules, and then
We
it
made
beat
that
them in the
happen.
ass. So
Yeah,
sometimes
it did.
everything for a reason, everything
I like
for a
to
purpose.
bite them in the ass. I want to show you a book. I don't know.
I want you to show me
We
the
have
book.
to go?
Yeah, well, I'm getting really tired and it's been an hour and 15 minutes.
All right.
But
Okay.
we've got an episode next week, so.
All right, let's see here.
What's the book you're showing me? I want to see this book.
I haven't read it yet, but I got this. I don't know who this person is. You see it?
Swindled.
Oh,
Swindled.
cool. Ron Paul.
It's
Swindled.
how the GOP cheated Ron Paul and lost themselves the election.
Who wrote it? Who's the
His
author?
name is Michael S. Alford. Do you know who that is? Alford? I haven't even opened it up yet. Do you know who that is?
How
I
does
don't know who that
somebody
is.
write a book about Ron Paul and we don't
know who they are?
That makes
That's
me
what I
wonder.
want to know.
That makes me wonder.
I want to write the book.
It could have been
We're going to have to write the book. Right, I know. It could be fake news.
Kind of weird.
Okay, so-
Kind of weird. Anyway, next week we'll have a new special guest.
Anyway, okay.
We'll see. All right.
I'll think about that Republican thing.
Yeah, I need you to. I need you to be the leader and start with the deplorables. There's 500,000 of them in there that need to take over their Republican parties, okay?
Yeah, they like that. They
Yeah.
like that better than any
Yeah.
other idea, I'm sure. So
Yeah.
we have a few good ones.
All right, we'll need to shut up because we don't stop talking once we start. That's the problem.
Thank you to the loyal, right now there are 22 of you. Thank you to the loyal viewers who sat here through all the technical problems and these ladies talking to themselves for about 10, 15 minutes. When you watch this back, I'm going to tell you right now, just watch me. I'm like, guys, and then I'm like, everybody's telling me, we can't hear them. We can't hear them.
Just so you know, people just kept saying, how do you get in there? People don't know how to get into Google Hangouts, and people on Facebook don't even have like a Gmail account. They couldn't get into Google, so they didn't know how to.
They didn't need to get into
I don't
Google
know.
Hangouts. I'm live streaming this on my YouTube channel right now.
But maybe they don't know about your YouTube channel either. So there's
Well,
a lot
that
of
was
people.
the link. Was the Facebook link was my YouTube channel.
I don't know why they're all sitting there. I put the link there, and they're like, "How do you get in? How do you see it?" I was like, "I don't. You know what?
You know what I'm gonna do? I'll make a tutorial
What?
video. I'll make a tutorial
All right.
video.
Okay. We need
All right, I love
Okay.
you, ladies.
That's a good idea.
Good night, guys.
Love you too. Love you, everybody.
Love you
Peace out.
guys. Bye.